time. This will be the first spacewalk for Alexey Zubritskiy. Ryzhikov and Zubritskiy both launched aboard the Soyuz MS-27 spacecraft back in April, along with NASA's Johnny Kim. They are scheduled to return to Earth on December 8th, U.S. time, December 9th, for a parachute-assisted landing on the steppe of Kazakhstan. Also involved in today's spacewalk is Roscosmos cosmonaut Oleg Platonov. He is inside the Nauka multipurpose laboratory module, set to operate the European robotic arm. That is the arm that you see very prominent in this field of view, a 36-foot-long robotic apparatus that will be used basically as a work platform, first for Ryzhikov to install a science package called the Molecular Beam Epitaxy Science Hardware Complex on the outside of the Nauka module. And then later on, it will be the work platform for Zubritskiy to jettison the camera system that he will be removing from the outside of the Zvezda service module as this planned 5-hour, 40-minute spacewalk continues. The space station at this hour is traveling 260 miles above the Earth, moving from northwest to southeast over the northwest Atlantic. All of the station systems are in good shape, and the other crew members not involved in today's spacewalk are also involved in other activities, including Zena Cardman and Kimiya Yui, NASA's Zena Cardman and Yui from the Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency. Yui and Cardman will be at the controls next week when the new JAXA HTV X-1, the new cargo craft for the Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency, arrives at the station. It is scheduled to launch from the Tanegashima Space Center in southern Japan next Monday night. We will be providing live coverage of that launch, and it will be arriving at the station on Friday, October 24th, for an automated rendezvous where it will be robotically captured by Yui, backed up by Cardman from the cupola workstation inside the station, as they will reach out with the Canadian-built Canadarm2 to grapple the HTV-X1 and then hand the robotic chores over to robotic ground controllers, who will mechanically install and bolt into place on the Earth-facing side of the Harmony module of the International Space Station for a planned 3-month stay for that brand new cargo ship that JAXA has been working tirelessly to develop, and which is now ready for launch from Tanegashima next Monday night U.S. time. As far as the spacewalk is concerned, the two cosmonauts, Ryzhikov and Zubritskiy, suited up in their Russian Orlan suits a few hours ago. They made their way inside the Poisk module airlock, began the depressurization of that airlock in a 2-step fashion about 35 to 40 minutes ago. They reported good leak checks with their Orlan suits. These are two brand new Orlan suits that were flown up on a recent Progress resupply mission by Roscosmos. They will be opening the hatch somewhere in the neighborhood of about noon Central Time, maybe about 1 p.m. Eastern Time for the start of their spacewalk. They're running a few minutes behind schedule with their preparations, but no harm, no foul as they prepare to float out into the void of space to begin their work day. This spacewalk, again, the 276th in support of space station assembly, maintenance, and upgrades. In addition to the primary task of the installation of the molecular beam epitaxy experiment on the outside of the Nauka module, again, Sergey Ryzhikov will be riding at the end of the European robotic arm for that task. They will then work in tandem to remove from the Zvezda service module the high-resolution camera optical telescope. This high-resolution camera was a commercial endeavor by a Canadian entrepreneurial company that was installed during 2 Russian spacewalks in December of 2013 and January of 2014 by Oleg Platonov and Sergey as part of that commercial endeavor. That commercial camera system has now completed its work, and so it will be removed and jettisoned later in today's spacewalk by Zubritskiy, whose feet will be planted in a foot restraint on this portable workstation at the end of the European robotic arm. It will be jettisoned retrograde from the International Space Station with no chance for recontact with the station itself as it makes its way slowly but surely to a safe distance away from the station, ultimately to burn up in the Earth's atmosphere. That camera system that will be jettisoned by Zubritskiy later in today's spacewalk weighs about 180 pounds. It is 2 feet by 4.6 feet by 2.3 feet. He will be holding on to what is called the monoblock. That's basically the case in which the camera is installed. And he will be jettisoning it retrograde from the station later today, the only item scheduled to be jettisoned during today's spacewalk. The two cosmonauts will also be cleaning one of the windows on the outside of the Zvezda service module, and then at the end of the spacewalk, assuming time permits, they'll be removing an experiment cassette from the outside of the Poisk module that has housed a number of materials exposure experiments over the past several months.
Copy. And the current pressure? 0.081, 0.082. Okay, let's wait another 15 minutes.
The two cosmonauts in the airlock in the Poisk module on the space-facing side of the Russian segment are in the process of breathing pure oxygen to cleanse nitrogen out of their bloodstreams. This is a common practice for all spacewalks, whether on the U.S. side or the Russian side. The procedure is designed to, again, purge the bloodstreams of the spacewalkers of any residual nitrogen and prevent any condition known as the bends or decompression sickness from occurring when they step out into the void of space. The Russian spacewalks are measured in terms of a elapsed time from the moment of hatch opening on the Poisk airlock to the time of hatch closure. It's hatch opening to hatch closure to measure the elapsed time of a Russian spacewalk, unlike those conducted from the Quest airlock on the U.S. segment of the space station, whose elapsed time is measured from the time that U.S. extravehicular mobility units are placed on internal battery power until those spacewalkers are back inside the Quest airlock and to begin the repressurization of the airlock itself. So we'll be waiting for confirmation from Russian flight controllers that you see there in this view from a balcony camera in the Russian Mission Control Center in the town of Korolyov outside of Moscow, who will be providing us with the official start and stop time of today's spacewalk for the record books. After Ryzhikov and Zubritskiy make their way outside of the Poisk airlock, the first order of business after opening the hatch will be for the two cosmonauts to install a protective ring around the hatch itself. This is a precautionary measure to ensure that the hatch is protected from any inadvertent strikes from particles, to maintain a pristine condition for that protective ring around the outer circumference of the hatch itself. First out of the hatch will be Zubritskiy. He'll be carrying a crew lock bag filled with tools and other items associated with the tasks on tap for today's spacewalk. He'll be followed a few minutes later by Ryzhikov. Again, Ryzhikov with one spacewalk to his credit, that having been conducted several years ago, a 6-hour, 48-minute spacewalk back in November of 2020. This will be Zubritskiy's first spacewalk of his career. During the course of today's spacewalk, we also are expecting helmet camera views from both Ryzhikov and Zubritskiy to provide us with an up-close and personal view of the work that they're doing outside of the Russian segment of the station. Again, you're looking at the Nauka multipurpose laboratory module. That's the node module, a multi-hatched extension of Nauka, to which the Soyuz MS-27 spacecraft is mated, having docked to Prishal back in April of this year. The Nauka multipurpose laboratory module with the European robotic arm attached to it was launched and arrived at the station back in 2021, was subsequently outfitted over the course of a number of spacewalks. The European robotic arm launched along with Nauka, and again was activated and checked out over the course of a number of spacewalks, and has been used rather continuously for operations regarding science payloads outside of the Russian segment of the station, as well as transporting cosmonauts during spacewalks hither and yon along the various work sites on the outside of the Russian segment of the International Space Station. This is a busy time aboard the International Space Station in addition to today's spacewalk. Again, next
And we can turn off the injector, right? Wait for the counter. Look at the right counter on the display. What does it show? 1 minute 40 seconds. Copy. Once you get to all zeros, that's when you can turn it off. Copy. And once you get to 340 millimeters,
So 180.
180. Great. There was a short LOS. Tell me, what do you see on both suits? 039 for EV1, 038 for EV2. Copy.
$155.
155 is the pressure in the module. MRM2, for the MV, please.
And configuration for the start of today's spacewalk, which the time of which will be marked at the moment Zubritskiy on
.036 is the seat pressure for EV1 and 2. That's good. MRM2 pressure is 30, and EV pressures are holding stable. 36 is for EV2. That's good, Alexey. And we are standing by for 20. You can put BSS-02 open EVA once we reach 20 millimeters, and then we will be standing by for 12. millimeter mark. We are at 20, and I'm putting Vestas in O2 open EVA. Copy. Confirmed.
And 40 minutes.
Power. Yes. Yes, is off or left. Power. Is off. Suit 1 off. Suit 2 off. Is off. Suit 1 off. Suit 2 off. We unmated the electrical umbilical. Copy.